Well, as norm-breaking as it may seem to be for President Trump to award himself and his Florida golf resort a no-bid contract to host next year's G7, it is also actually a pattern. He and the vice president both have gone out of their way to stay at his golf course in Ireland. The president has also stayed at his resorts in Scotland and Hawaii during overseas trips. Overnight stops by members of the Air Force have increased at his Scottish resort. Attorney General William Barr is reportedly planning a holiday bash at Trump's D.C. hotel. The Sauds booked hundreds of rooms there after the 2016 election. The president even plugged his own Charlottesville winery in 2017 while responding to the neo-Nazi violence that had occurred there 3 days earlier. Despite the pattern, however, his acting chief of staff says, nothing to see here. It is all on the up and up.
We're going to do the 46th G7 summit on June 10th through June 12th at the Trump National Doral facility in Miami. Doral was by far and away the best physical facility for this meeting.
Yeah, President doesn't even hide what he's trying to do here either. Listen to how he pitched his own resort in August.
With Doral, we have a series of magnificent buildings. We call them bungalows. They each hold from 50 to 70 very luxurious rooms with magnificent views. We have incredible conference rooms, incredible restaurants. It's like such a natural. Each country can have their own villa or their own bungalow.
Anyway, a source tells CNN that Doral wasn't even on the list of venues because of ethical concerns. Mulvaney yesterday said it was the president who suggested it. Surprise. Just before airtime, I spoke with Congressman Steve Cohen, who sits on the Judiciary Committee, about what Democrats plan to do. Congressman Cohen, is this anything other than the president awarding a huge federal contract to himself? I mean, does anyone really believe that, this resort, the Doral, was far and away the best physical facility for this meeting, as the White House says?
I can't imagine Travel and Leisure choosing this resort. June in Miami is not exactly a prime season. That's when they're making all kind of deals to come down here at 50% off in Miami at that time of the year. This is self-dealing. This is just the utmost grifting and arrogance to take as much money and prestige as he can from his job and extend it to himself and his family. And, generally politicians are taught to avoid even the appearance of an impropriety. This just smacks of impropriety. The appearance is so far off the charts, this is mainlining it.
It's also, it's free advertising for media from around the world, which covers these events. The whole notion that the president won't actually profit from this, that the Doral will do this at cost. If they won't release documentation showing how Doral was chosen, it's certainly hard to believe they're going to release documentation showing that they made no money off it.
The president makes money off of everything. That's what the president lives for, is to make money and to see his name in big, big letters on buildings. He will make money on this. The occupancy rate is very low in early June, and he'll charge and make lots of money, and he'll charge the government for lots of other things. Today I joined with Representative Lois Frankel and Representative Benny Thompson introducing the Thug Act, which is Trump heist at the G7. It would require the Trump administration to release all of the information on how they chose the Doral, who the other competitors were, and what the rating system was and what they did, and also ban the United States government from spending any money at Doral for the G7. We hope we get a hearing and a vote in the House, and we hope the Senate comes to their senses.
If this were any other federal employee, they could be facing criminal charges, even prison, for trying to profit from their position. Those conflict of interest rules don't apply to the president because it was believed when they were written that they didn't need to apply to the president, that a president would be above doing something like this, and yet here we are.
Yeah, you would. It would be obviously self-dealing. And, there's just so many places where you'd rather be in June, and other facilities that could accommodate this type of event in a better way. But just the first thing you learn is, even I would think as a small-time alderman in a small town, is to avoid the appearance of impropriety. This man has no shame whatsoever.
It's a great point that you raised about Florida during the summer not being obviously the high tourist time at a resort like this. The Cooper family has reunions in a state park in Mississippi in the summer, and I can tell you, it is really, really hot. You know.
Yeah, I lived in Florida when I was a kid. The only thing, the early bird special is about the only thing you get going in June.
Well, they probably have that at the Doral as well. Congressman Cohen, appreciate it. Thank you.
I imagine they do. You're welcome, Anderson.